Hello and welcome to The Record. I'm Mark Maxwell. You might notice I'm not in those cozy confines of 5 on Your Side's digital studios. Instead, this week we're out on the road, in Detroit of all places, reporting on some interesting stories we will bring you later this month in a series as we examine solutions that birthed this city's comeback. Is it real? We take a look at that. But before we do, there were several big political stories happening in Illinois and Missouri this week, and even on the road, we want to bring you those moments as we collect the record and reflect on those big stories. We begin with a warning to pharmacies from Missouri's Attorney General Andrew Bailey, just new on the job, but a threat to CVS and Walgreens, those household names, pharmacies that were selling the so-called abortion pill. Bailey saying there could be legal consequences if they sell that over the counter to women. He's one of 20 attorneys general from red states sending that letter to the big pharmacy chains, urging them to take caution after those companies said they will go forward, announcing they will sell the abortion pill on the heels of an announcement from the FDA. The FDA said they will allow these pills to be sent to patients if they have a prescription. Here with more is 5 on Your Side's Elise Schoenig.
Missourians deserve access to the full range of health care that they need.
8th Ward Alderwoman Annie Rice is reacting to what she feels is yet another restriction to reproductive rights in Missouri.
They're out here to score talking points, and they're instilling more fear in people who need abortions in states where it's restricted.
She's talking about a letter signed by Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey and 19 others. It warns pharmaceutical companies of legal consequences for selling abortion pills by mail. I
think there's a significant legal question as to whether or not participating in abortion pills by mail is something that the Attorney General has any say over.
Rice feels this letter provides more harm than good, but others feel it's a crucial reminder.
And we should be informing the public that a chemical abortion is not a safe and simple thing for you to do at home.
Coalition Life founder and executive director Brian Westbrook provides alternatives to abortions for women.
It's not better for the mom, and it's certainly not better for the child who dies through that abortion.
He believes the writing in the letter should be taken seriously.
A surgical abortion is the same as a chemical abortion. So if the pharmacies want to distribute chemical abortions, they become an abortion facility.
A Society for Family Planning study found abortions in Illinois went up 28% between April and August 2022. It's why Westbrook feels abortion alternatives are needed.
There's a lot of clients coming to Illinois for abortions, and we need to be able to serve them right here in this area.
And it's why Rice feels this battle is far from over.
Restricting access is terrible. It's healthcare that people need. And so I'm grateful for those organizations that are still out there fighting for access.
Elise Schoenig, 5 on Your Side.
It's still unclear exactly what kind of action Attorney General Bailey might take, or if CVS and Walgreens call his bluff, what those next legal implications might look like if the pharmacies start to sell those abortion pills by mail. Also, we're just a few days away now from Missouri recreational pot shops opening up and selling marijuana to legal consumers across the Show Me state. But if you walk in to one of those dispensaries, you might still need to show a medical card, depending on when or where you're at. And that is in large part because many of those small local governments still haven't updated their municipal codes to be in compliance with now the big force of law, the state constitution, which legalizes that recreational marijuana. That leaves open a lot of gray area legally, with the Constitution being that driving factor. Laura Barczewski describes what's on the horizon for people trying to buy legal weed.
For weeks, Starbuds dispensary owner Chris Chesley has been preparing to open his doors to thousands more customers looking to buy recreational marijuana products.
Talking with vendors, transporters, making sure everything's going to be ready, running smoothly, definitely staffing up. We've almost doubled our staff
Chesley owns 2 dispensaries, one in Festus and one in University City. The transition to sell both recreational and medical products also involves working with those cities to change ordinances.
When most municipalities wrote their ordinances, they specifically put in medical marijuana. And now that we're going to have comprehensive sales and or recreational sales for comprehensive licenses, we need to adjust those ordinances to make sure that all the dispensaries are operating within the correct ordinances for the city.
He says in Festus they've already completed the process, but U City may take a little more time. It's just another thing to keep in mind as most cities in the St. Louis area are going through this process.
You know, there are some municipalities that are just kind of saying, you know, hey, go ahead, we'll get this updated, we're working on it. We all know that this is where we're going to end up. And then there are other municipalities that are very weary of doing that and want to make sure that every process is taken correctly and gone through.
Missouri Normal Attorney Dan Vietz says legally cities can't stop dispensaries from selling recreational pot on February 6th as long as they have a state comprehensive license.
Article 14 specifically says that no local government can enact any ordinance which would place an undue burden on the operation of those facilities. And attempting to stop them from operating would certainly be an undue burden.
Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
So the main takeaway, legal weed is coming to Missouri sooner or later, but maybe not all at once. Some of those local pot shops may choose not to start selling immediately on February 6th. They might not have the state license in place to do it yet. Some of the paperwork takes some time. So again, if you're looking to become a customer, might be good advice to just call ahead and make sure they are actively open and selling. Turning our focus now to education, teachers and staff members in one local school district are hoping to raise some revenue. They want to pass a proposition that would bring more money to the school district. Administrators and parents are joining a push to pass Proposition E, Prop E, they're calling it. 5 on your sides. Mercedes McKay reports from South St. Louis County.
Every child in the Melville School District deserves the best teachers that money can buy.
Rebecca Bahora spends a lot of time at her kids' elementary school. While volunteering, she's seen firsthand the magic teachers pull off daily.
As a mom, I have 3 children that I deal with, but when you think about it, you go into a classroom, they have 20 different children, they have 20 different personalities, they have 20 different struggles, 20 different learning styles.
That's why Bahora decided to lead the community advocacy group for Prop E, a 31-cent tax levy increase on the April ballot that would give not only teachers more money, but support staff too.
We want to keep the high-quality teachers that we have, but we want to make sure that we're competitive with the other districts around.
That's been difficult for the district to do recently, according to HR Executive Director Dr. Shannon Pike. From worker shortages to teachers leaving to a more competitive job market.
We need our bus drivers, we need our custodians, we need our school food nutrition, and all of the people that service our kids each and every day.
Superintendent Chris Gaines says salary studies revealed just how far behind the district was for basically every job.
We want the best teachers that we can have in classrooms. We want the best bus drivers that we can have transporting kids back and forth. So we need to invest in those people so that we can 1, attract them, and 2, retain them over time.
It's an investment that Gaines says impacts even the people outside of the classroom, and it's now in the voters' hands.
We would hope that our community would invest in our people the way that we invest in their kids.
Mercedes McKay, 5 on your side.
How would they spend all that money? If Prop E passes, think of it as Prop Education. The district says they're going to roll that money into higher salaries for teachers, a pay raise perhaps on the horizon. And we conclude our live stream broadcast with you this afternoon with a look at the controversy over the new assault weapons ban across the river in Illinois. Gun owners, gun shop owners, many different firearms advocates across Illinois have filed a flurry of lawsuits going to courthouses looking to block this bill from becoming implemented. It's already a law on the books, but courts have issued some temporary restraining orders, leaving a lot of open questions for people about what this means for them and their arsenal today. 5 on your side, Sydney Stallworth takes a look at some of them.
Illinois is facing several lawsuits in the court in response to its statewide assault weapons ban, one filed by the NRA, the other filed by hundreds of gun owners and shop owners across the state. A group of judges ruled in favor of a temporary restraining order filed by those gun and shop owners. The 5th District Appellate Court of Illinois ruled to uphold the restraining order issued January 20th by a circuit court judge in Effingham County. The 3-judge panel affirmed the temporary restraining order, or TRO, based on one count that claimed the assault weapons ban violates the Equal Protection Clause of the Illinois Constitution and the plaintiff's right to bear arms. The restraining order applies only to the plaintiffs in this case, which include gun dealers that may continue selling these high-power weapons and hundreds of citizens. The National Rifle Association, or NRA, filed a separate lawsuit. The suit is at the federal level, claiming the rules of the Illinois ban go against a 2008 U.S. Supreme Court decision prohibiting bans on commonly used weapons. The organization calls this ban a, quote, radical defiance of the Constitution's Second Amendment. No word on when this lawsuit will be heard in court. Governor J.B. Pritzker has said he believes this law will withstand any challenges in court. In Belleville, Sydney Stallworth, 5 on your side.
Finally today, a bit more of an explanation about why I'm here in Detroit and not in St. Louis. St. Louis has a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Many of our city leaders have promised that revitalization of North City or parts of the city that have fallen on hard times, or bringing more people to the table to grow wealth for themselves and the generations to follow. But as many American cities experienced, after the 40s and 50s and 60s, really, there was that shrinking American city, the great industrial revolution that built big American cities like Detroit, like St. Louis. They experienced that fall off and all the crime and poverty and desperation that would follow. No, there's never an apples to apples comparison of one city to another, but there are solutions and there are bright spots. If you look across the country, to Detroit, perhaps the chief among them. And so we came to the Motor City to see what solutions we might find for the Gateway City. And we're excited to prepare and bring some of those ideas to you. And yes, there are signs of life on the horizon behind me, in many of the small businesses and big ones alike, in the police departments and on the sidewalks throughout the neighborhoods, down to each and every home and family. And yes, it starts with the leadership. We're going to explore many of those inspiring stories, some of those stories that bring hope that yes, a comeback is in fact possible. But I hope you'll join us at the same time next week on Thursday. Until then, perhaps from a more warmer climate, we're off the record.